Hello, Mommy. Mommy, thank you.
Hello everyone, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Welcome to my channel, Chic Wanderer. I'm Isla. Gentleness isn't a weakness, it's the courage to stand inside the storm. Today's topic is invisible but essential. In the half-light, seeing their quiet strengths. Let's begin this journey together. When I talk about being seen, I realize something quietly heartbreaking within the ordinary rhythm of everyday life. There is a group of people who have been overlooked for so long that they've almost faded out of view. They keep homes running, they keep life from falling apart. They make it possible for others to move forward in their worlds. Their work is small but essential, quiet but pivotal. They haven't disappeared. They've simply been swallowed by the routines of every day. Today, I want to turn the camera toward them, people who hold up a family not by title or status, but by the simple act of caring. They are not weak, they are simply unseen too often, and today I hope to let them be seen. I'm sensitive to invisibility because for a long stretch of my life, I quietly slipped out of view myself. For almost 10 years, I lived as a full-time mother. Repetitive routines, endless demands, the fragmented hours, and the broken nights. The line between my role and my sense of self grew thin. Until one day, I realized I had entered a world of caregivers, a world quiet enough to go unnoticed, yet strong enough to hold everything together. Nearly a decade spent inhabiting the role of a caregiver. It was never just a household duty, but a job with no pay, no days off, one that demanded my presence at every moment. It asks you to reach out every time, to answer every need, and to place yourself at the very end. Over time, my own name grew fainter. I was mom, farmer orphan, someone's mother to everyone else, and rarely myself. My time splintered, my emotions narrowed, my dreams placed on hold, and my sense of self slowly erased. This isn't a complaint, it's the reality countless caregivers share. For years, my sleep lay in pieces, scattered like a broken glass. I'd drift off at 2 a.m., wake to crying at 3, sit under a dim light at 4, feeding, changing, soothing. My eyes burned through the day, and the nights pulled me awake again and again. I once faced my child's 40 degrees Celsius fever alone, holding her, counting every breath, waiting for the heat to fall, waiting for her to steady, waiting for myself not to break. People often say, "Isn't this just what mothers do?" But only those who have lived it know how much loneliness and endurance are buried inside moments like this. During those months, when I gave birth abroad, there were no parents, no support system, just my husband and me, carrying the weight of those endless nights. One night, my chest was so painfully engorged. It felt like a stone, the ache pushing me into a fever, and still I had to grit my teeth and lift my child into my arms. In that moment, it became clear to me a caregiver's body is often the first to bear the weight and the last to be cared for. And it was then I realized that so many people in this world are living through experiences like mine, and many facing struggles far harder than my own. Some care for children, some for raising parents, some for family members with disabilities. Some are unwell themselves, yet still shoulder the weight of finances and daily life. They are stay-at-home mothers and fathers, children caring for elderly or disabled parents, single parents, partners who shoulder caregiving, and those who quietly bear emotional and everyday burdens. They give their time, their strength, their patience, their emotional space, so that someone else may keep living with possibility. What they carry is not a title, but a responsibility, a quiet, immeasurable force. For years, many have walked through the dark, not because they lacked light, but because they gave almost all of it to someone else. Looking back, I realized this. The exhaustion, the quiet, the disorientation, and the rebuilding I went through were not mine alone. They were the shared path of countless caregivers. I moved from being swallowed by a roar to slowly finding my way back to myself, from being unseen to learning how to see myself again. And this too is the journey so many caregivers are still walking. If you too have ever quietly disappeared in the everyday, if you have ever felt overwhelmed by constant demands, if you have ever questioned your worth, please remember you are not alone. You have never been forgotten. You deserve to be seen, and you deserve to be understood. Even if it is only a small moment that belongs to you, even if it is only a small step toward who you once were, your life will shine again. This light is for every caregiver and for you who is finding your way back to yourself. To everyone who is holding a family together, maybe you haven't rested in a long while, haven't heard anyone ask, "How are you?" Haven't been called by your own name for far too long. Maybe you've grown used to not troubling anyone, to carrying everything by yourself, to letting silence stand in for your fatigue. But please know this, what you do is never simply what's expected. Your endurance is not small, and your presence is never just the backdrop. You keep life moving, you help others rise. With strengths unseen, you quietly hold so much of the world in place. If one day the weight feels too heavy, remember this. You deserve understanding, you deserve support, you deserve a future that belongs to you. May this film be a beginning for this world to learn to see you and for you to see yourself again. May every unseen struggle be quietly held by the world. Thank you for being here. Please like, subscribe, and share. I will see you next time. Be less perfect, more you.